our favorite trader players joining us now for Top That Trade. Phil Flynn, a Fox Business Network contributor, and Alan Nuckman, a trading pro for Agora Financial. Here we go with our trader game. Round number one, election edge. What's your top trader advice about trading based on who's in the White House?
Number one, markets don't care. That's my only advice. The market doesn't care about your political or the president's persuasion. The markets are going to do what they're going to do. Focus on price, not politics.
I would agree with you, but you also have to focus on policy, too. And I do think when you get into a White House, if you get a White House that does, substantially look to raise corporate taxes, that could be a threat to the market. In fact, I think one of the biggest threats to the markets going forward, because we all know that higher taxes for corporation really is probably not good for the stock market. And, earnings usually would go down and jobs usually go elsewhere.
Round number two, government funding. Can investors count on bonds as a sturdy investment?
Well, it depends on what bonds you're looking at. I mean, there's a whole slew of different bonds. You're going to be looking at corporate and high yield. I mean, right now, bonds have been a dog, let's face it, because interest rates have been low. But there have been some high yielding, higher risk bonds that look very, very attractive. In the energy space right now, very risky because a lot of these firms have been going bankrupt. But there are some real value stocks there if you can take a risk. But just remember, when you start buying some of these higher yield bonds, there's a reason why they're paying you a high yield, because there's a high degree of risk.
There are a lot of people actually that use stock ownership as kind of a functioning bond in the fact that they're getting good dividend plays. And that's been something that I think people have overlooked. There's been 3, 4, 5, 6% dividend yields on so many companies. Again, you're owning the stock, but you're getting that added bonus of the dividend. So it pays like a bond, but you have the risk if the stock goes down.
Or if the company goes bankrupt, which...
Round number three, currency crunch. How do you make the most of an up or down dollar?
Well, this dollar dive is positive for so many asset classes. Let's see if it can continue to go lower. We saw that euro currency break above 120. The midpoint over the last 20 years in the euro currency is 130. So there's still a lot more upside in the euro currency and therefore downside in the dollar, which could be a continued catalyst for the stock market.
You can bet your bottom dollar that you'll lose your blues in Chicago. But with the dollar being down, it has been a godsend for a lot of U.S. energy producers and ag producers. They've been dying over the last couple of years. Not only have they had to fight off the U.S.-China trade spat, they've had to fight off a strong dollar. But now the tide has changed a little bit. People are looking to other currencies other than the dollar, and that is giving our exporters a great advantage. So the stocks you want to look at are stocks that are going to benefit by being able to export to other countries. That could mean energy stocks. That could mean ag stocks. Things like John Deere and stocks like that, they could do very well in a low dollar environment.
Here's your bonus round question for today. Can you name the president on a $2 bill? Is it Ben Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, or Thomas Jefferson?
I pick Benjamin Franklin.
It is not Benjamin Franklin. I believe it's John Adams, but I think if you flip the dollar over, all four of them are on it.
Well, it turns out this is a bit of a trick question. It's actually Thomas Jefferson, but the back of the bill shows a signing of the Declaration. So Ben Franklin and John Adams are on the back, and the first version of the $2 bill had a portrait of Alexander Hamilton. Great job, guys. Winners all the way around. We will be right back.